Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gada Mahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Tajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nastapradesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, text number 35. First of all, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, especially during the month of Purushottam Mass, basically. It's very auspicious to hear, talk, remember, and do devotional service for Krishna in the month of Purushottam, because this month belongs to him. So in that way, we'll get purified. Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karmavi shravana smaranarhani karishyan iti kechana. Bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karmavi shravana smaranarhani karishyan iti kechana. Word to word meaning. Bhave, in the material creation, asmin, this, klishyamananam, of those who are suffering from avidya, nescience, kama, desire, karma bihi, by execution of fruity work, shravana, hearing, smarana, remembering, harhani, worshipping, karishyan, may perform, iti, thus, kechana, others. Translation. And yet others say that you appeared for the sake of rejuvenating the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned souls suffering from the material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. Purport. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Lord asserts that he appears in every millennium just to re-establish the way of religion. The way of religion is made by the Supreme Lord. No one can manufacture a new path of religion, as is the fashion for certain ambitious persons. The factual way of religion is to accept the Lord as the supreme authority and thus render service unto him in spontaneous love. A living being cannot help but render service because he is constitutionally made for that purpose. The only function of living being is to render service to the Lord. The Lord is great, and living beings are subordinate to him. Therefore, the duty of living being is to just serve him only. Unfortunately, the illusion living beings, out of misunderstanding only, become servants of the senses by the material desire. This desire is called avidya or nuisance. And out of such desire, the living being makes different plans for material enjoyment, centered about a perverted sex life. He therefore becomes entangled in the chain of birth and death by transmigrating into different bodies on different planets under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Unless, therefore, one is beyond the boundary of this nuisance, one cannot get free from the threefold miseries of material life. This is the law of nature. The Lord, however, out of his causeless mercy, because he is more merciful to the suffering living beings than they can expect, appears before them and renovates the principles of devotion service comprised of hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, cooperating, and surrendering unto him. Adoption of all the above mentioned items or any one of them can help a conditioned soul get out of the tangle of nuisance and thus become liberated from all material sufferings created by the living being, illusioned by the external energy. This particular type of mercy is bestowed upon the living being by the Lord in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the great Vaishnavas assembled in this Zoom meeting. And I'll sincerely pray each and everyone to bestow your blessings so that I can speak, glorify the Lord, and for the pleasure of devotees and pleasure of deities and lordships. Thank you so much. Bhagavatam in the morning, as I keep saying, it's for a reminder for me, is bringing auspiciousness into life. Prabhupada says, auspicious means Subhadra. So when we have Subhadra, there is no Abhadra. Why? Because we're always in Abhadra. Why is it so? The reason behind this particular verse talks about liberation from suffering. The title itself says, from ignorance and suffering. Many, many times we have heard the living entity is suffering because of avidya, because of ignorance. What is this ignorance? One, why are we suffering? Ignorance means that we are thinking we are everything and there is no God. That is why we always pray, even while reciting, and then we also say in the end as a prayer, Mukam karoti vachalam pangum lam gayate grim, et kripa tamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Premananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishvara. Anyway, I don't know anything, and I'm praying the spiritual master Krishna in that such a way that if the blessings comes in, even the layman can, the person who is not able to walk can walk, right? So in that way, don't think that I am a great devotee, great Vaishnava, yes, and oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. No, nothing. In spite of practicing devotion service, there is also an avidya. Why? We are thinking, I am great, I am better than other devotee. See, even in practicing devotion service also, we think that, wow, I am great, this is me, I am false ego, because of the puffed up nature that I know something great. That's also ignorance. That's also because we are not really understanding what Krishna is telling. Saying that, let me go into what Prabhupada says here. He starts his lecture. I heard his lecture. Bhaves min klishyamananam. In the material creation, everybody is suffering because of the nescience, ignorance, avidya. Why? It is because we are covered with this material nature. Everyone has desire. There is nothing wrong in having desire. But the problem is we are trying to fulfill that desire to whatever extent we are thinking about. And when we try to fulfill that desire, what we have, with various ways, whether you're not, whether you will be successful or not successful, doesn't matter, but you keep trying one day after other day after other. Every day you're trying to satisfy that desire what we have. Right from Hiranyakashipu, Ravana, they're all satisfied, trying to satisfy that desire. But we know what is the end result of satisfying that desire, everything is gone. So because of this material nature, Prabhupada says, right? So this one is, we are already in the, first of all, we are conditioned. On the top of it, the law of material nature, the law of nature is very difficult to cope up with. It's taking, law of nature is good. It's telling us what to do, what not to do. But we don't follow, what happens? Damn if you do, damn if you don't. So that's material nature. It's very, very difficult. And in spite of all this, we still keep trying one after the other to satisfy our desire. So the problem is the desire to satisfy our own senses. That is the avidya. That is the ignorance. Especially atheists, they will think there is no God. There is nothing like that. You can do whatever you want. And that means, what does that mean? That we don't think of God? Whatever you do is all you, man. Everything is you. You have every ability, capacity to do everything. Because we are thinking that we are just the body. And we don't, Prabhupada says, we are not even thinking that there is we don't even know that we are a part and parcel of Krishna and we are a spirit soul. And because we are thinking that we are the body and we don't even know there is a spirit soul, everything, we are born, we grow, we produce, we dwindle, we die. So end of the day, there is nothing other than, oh, once we are gone, once the body is dead, that means everything is finished. So Prabhupada is teaching that in every verse of Bhagavad Gita, every verse of Bhagavatam. Somehow he relates that we are not the body. Why he is giving us multiple reminders every day? You will see in any other shloka, or even a person who is talking Srimad Bhagavatam, reciting Bhagavatam, somehow he comes to the tell us that this is not the body. We are the spirit soul in nature, by nature. So we bring a laptop, we buy a laptop out from outside, from a different place, wherever you want to buy from. We bring it here for our own needs, and we keep adding this software, that software. Every day we keep adding softwares to satisfy your needs. On the top of it, there are a lot of viruses coming. When you go to one browser, another browser, one website, other websites, there are a lot of things virus comes. And then try to install again antivirus and keep working and keep working and keep working. One day you feel that, oh, this laptop is not working properly. Let me return it back. So what do? We have to press the reset button. By default, everything has to be removed. All the software has to be removed. All the enjoyment, whatever you had in that laptop, you're watching every day, a lot of softwares. Oh, one after the other. I learned this, I learned that, lot of things you do. But if that laptop has to be returned back, originally in original way of how it was brought, it has to be a reset by default. So I was just thinking about it. We came from the spiritual world somehow into this material world. We keep adding to satisfy our desire. We keep adding a lot of gadgets in our life. Basically gadgets in our life, one after the other, one after the other, one after the other, to satisfy our own desire. But that gadget just doesn't help. We keep something else, try. But we keep adding every day. But if at all you want to go back to Godhead, that means to go back to the spiritual world, we need to press the reset button, saying everything has to be renovated. In the second paragraph of the purport, it was really touching my heart, saying, renovates the principles of devotion service comprised of hearing. So I was thinking, what is this meaning of renovate? Renovate means restore. Restore to originals. So how do we restore to our consciousness to original is $1 million question for the day. So because of all this avidya, ignorance, we are suffering. We do anything, we suffer. Prabhupada gives a very nice example in his lecture. A person, whether he is an ant, whether a living entity, whether it's an ant, it's trying to build a hole. A person like human being try to construct a skyscraper. Brahma, the first citizen of this universe, he is also trying to build the whole universe. And Prabhupada says there is no difference in quality. They're all, I don't know what the quality is, but yeah, they're trying to build something. But everybody is trying to build something. There is no difference in Brahma, human being, and to satisfy the senses. Oh, I need to build this, I need to build this, I need to build this. So Prabhupada says, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I don't want to become Brahma. There's a nice verse there. Vishnu Shaktir Paraprokta kshetrajnakya tathapara avidya karma sanjanya tritiya shakti ishyate. In this material world, everyone is in ignorance. Even Brahma was ignorant until he was given knowledge by Krishna. Therefore, no one should be proud of his knowledge. Everyone in this material world is a rascal. A particular living entity desires, if I can get the opportunity to obtain the post of Brahma, then I can create the big universe. Thus he receives the body of Brahma. And the small insects thinks, if I create a small hole within this room, then I can live very peacefully and eat. Thus Brahma desires to create a universe, we desire to create a skyscraper, and an ant desires to create a hole in the room, but the quality of the work is the same. We are fools, however, because we do not realize that because these things are material, they will not last. Because of ignorance, we think this will be very nice, that will be very nice. Kama karma bihi. We create some desire and then we work accordingly. This results in so many difficulties, which is klishyanti. To become Brahma is not very easy thing. Brahma is such a big post and is given to a very qualified living entity who is highly advanced in austerities and penance, but is also a living entity like us. In America, there are many citizens, so on so forth. But Prabhupada says that Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Kita janma ho yata tuya dasa, bahirmukha brahma janme nahi asa. Let me become an insect in a place where your devotee is present. Because if I fall down in the dust of the feet of a devotee, my life will be successful. So we don't have to do anything other than renovate. How do you renovate? To the restore or to the originals is renovate in our hearing, renovate your chanting, renovate our remembering. Just few things. Renovate, everything has to be renovated. We are hearing every day the nonsense, news, this, that, etc. Lot of nonsense we are hearing every day. That leads into something else. Many times Prabhupada mentioned, it's all people chat together, go to your restaurant, go to the offices. In the free time, what they do, they could sit and do chatting, Gramya Katha. Something they will keep chatting, hearing, and one person chats, other person hear. And what do we remember? After all this chatting and hearing, etc., we'll remember what that person said, what this person said. And then we will comment, oh, this person is saying like this, that person is saying like this. See how the consciousness spoils. Now Krishna is telling, Prabhupada is telling, renovate your hearing also, renovate your chanting, renovate your remembering. So what is renovate? Is to hear about Krishna, chant the holy names, remember Krishna, serve Krishna. Prabhupada says, if you are not able to hear, chant, just worship, just see the deities of Krishna. A person who is coming and sweeping the floor in the temple room, whether he is, whatever he is, he comes and sweeps up, but he looks at the temple, looks at the deities of Krishna and Radharani. Worship them. That itself is enough. Every day, look at the deities. Every day, hear about Krishna. Every day, read about Krishna. Every day, chant about the glories of Krishna. Glorify Krishna. So, this is the surrendering process. If we follow these principles, which is actually many prayers, one after the other, Kunti Maharani is telling us, but it's coming to the conclusion in this verse. What is the conclusion? Krishna himself appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to preach Krishna consciousness. Yes, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata paritranayat sadhunam Vinashaya Chadushrutam. All these slokas we have. Every millennium he comes. But the secret is Krishna himself coming as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us this preaching is the essence here. He himself comes to preach and take us back to spiritual world. He came here 500 years ago to give the holy name, and he's telling us to spread the holy name, which is the week of holy name. So we are spreading the glories of holy name. Srimad Bhagavatam, we are doing this 7 o'clock morning every day, glorifying Krishna. That is again propagating the holy name, qualities of holy name, right? So this is what we need to do every day. If we have that, renovate our process of whatever you are doing. If you renovate our process towards Krishna, then our originals will be restored, and then we'll go back to spiritual world. So because of suffering, what is this? Because suffering is because of the ignorance. So now come to let the light come on our consciousness by Om Agnana Timirandasya, which Krishna, we are praying, Om Agnana, let all the Agnana go away by your mercy. Krishna is very merciful. Everybody is great. God is great, but everybody else also say we are great. They might be great, but they may not be kind. But Krishna is so kind and merciful. That's why he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to give us this mercy and to take us back to the originals. Saying this, I'll stop here. Anybody has comments, questions, please. One, thank you so much for hearing.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It was Dandavat Pranam. It was such a nice talk, I think the key point is still sinking in my mind. Whatever, ant or a human being or even Brahma creates is of the same quality. Prabhupada is really taking a big hammer and shattering my ego with it. So, it's such a wonderful thing to understand. And if I really think about it now, the only thing that comes to my mind is only the activities of the devotees over time, is not destroyed, and it is keep repeated in the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's such a wonderful takeaway from your class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I was thinking yesterday why Brahma is not worshipped. Now I understand. He's also doing his work. No, so of course, because people are great, yeah, they are better. He's better than me, he's better than me. So even you can become Brahma and do your job. But ultimately, we need to go back to Krishna. So that's the summon bonum of this verse. Thank you so much. Premananda Mataji, enlighten me. Thank you for joining, Mataji. I think she's in mute. Anybody else? Otherwise, I think we'll stop, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. It was a nice class.
Thank you.
Just thinking, you said refurbish or renovate. That concept was good. You nicely explained. And the process is so simple. Prabhupada has given hearing and chanting. So just thinking, now that, the way you explained about the renovate, because a lot of things we accumulated, we need to clean up to fresh slate again what we got, like resetting the computer reset. So
yeah, no, I think it is because even though you take it, some people take it, but they have to put it back to the originals anyway. And if you go to the Apple computer original, they'll sit there, they'll tell us to reset everything, take out everything out, and then only it can be returned back. So I was thinking in that way. all our dirty things has to go away and have a pure consciousness. Then only you can go back. So for that, renovate everything in our daily life.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think we'll stop here, Prabhu. Nobody has any comments, looks like.
Thank you very much, Prabhu, for that. For that reset, I also very much enjoyed how many softwares we have played in this. I mean, even I thought being child is a software, being youth is a software, being adult is a software. We have gone through all these ones.
Yeah, keep adding stuff every day to satisfy our desires, right? So
Yes.
it's the same thing.
And thank you for reminding me. Don't think, and even the devotees think, I do this. I mean, that devotee should never come to this. I can do this better, or I. And that one. Thank you very much for a reminder. That one. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mother.
One should always remember, due to Guru and Krishna's mercy, every day, our bhakti program is going.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And the association of devotees.
Yes, Mother.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for reminding that.
Okay, Prabhu, we'll stop here. Vancha kalpatru vyasya kripa sindhubhyo evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnava Vranda ki jai. Thank you everybody for joining.